this session on the Tilism-e-Hoshruba, one of the great dastans of the Indian subcontinent, one of the great Urdu dastans. And what we have in front of us today is something that can only be described as Labor of Love. Shahnaz Aijazuddin's translation of this massive dastan. It runs into 7 volumes in the original. And what we have is a pressed, elegant translation, subtitled The Enchantment of the Senses. The dastan is an occasion, I would say, for us to delve into an oral tradition of the subcontinent that really goes beyond the subcontinent, links with the Arabian Nights, the Al-Layla, and opens to us an oral tradition of fascination, of magic, of imagination, that perhaps we would do well to reconnect with. And as we go along, as we delve into the Hoshruba, perhaps you'll see why. Shahnaz, of course, needs no introduction. She's a figure on our literary scene, has been so for over 2 decades. Her first volume of writing appeared in 1994, titled Lost from You, and since then she's been involved with academia, with lungs, with various newspapers, but really her life's contribution for us is the Tilism-e-Hoshruba translation. And without further ado, we'll delve into it, and I'll ask Navid Riaz to give us a sample of this Tilism.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. واضح ہو کہ داستان امیر حمزہ کے 7 دفتر ہیں اور بغیر ملاحظہ دفتر مذکورے کے we ask for the mobiles to be switched on because they can be very switched off, I beg your pardon. Can be very, very distracting and very unfair to those who are listening or want to listen. Do I have your cooperation, please? Yes. They were asked to be switched off, but didn't result in too much. Thank you so much indeed. Very grateful. واضح ہو کہ داستان امیر حمزہ کے 7 دفتر ہیں اور بغیر ملاحظہ دفاتر مذکورے کے دشوار ہے امیر اور عمرو اور رسم زمرد شاہ اور بختیارت اور افراسیاب جادو وغیرہ کے نام سمجھ میں آئے. بہی خیال گزارش ہے کہ امیر حمزہ پسر سید خواجہ عبد المطلب سردار خانہ کعبہ کے ہیں اور عمرو ان کا عیار ہے، اور امیر حمزہ نے اپنے پودے کو بادشاہ لشکر کیا ہے کہ نام اس کا سعد بن قباد ہے، اور آپ سپہ سالاری لشکر کی کرتے ہیں، اور جتنے بیٹے امیر حمزہ کے ہیں وہ سب مدیر اس پوتے کے ہیں جو بادشاہ ہے، اور بادشاہ روئے زمین میں بہت سے جن کا ذکر اس قصے میں آئے گا وہ سب ہمراہ لشکر کے اپنی اپنی فوج لیے رہتے ہیں. اور امیر حمزہ ایک بادشاہ جلیل القدر زمرد شاہ باختری سے، جس کو لقا بھی کہتے ہیں، اور اس نے دعویٰ خدائی کیا ہے، لڑ رہے ہیں. بختیارک بن بختک شیطان درگاہ لقا بن گیا ہے، جس نے خدائی میں، اس لیے کہ خدائی کو کوئی شیطان نہیں چاہیے. آغاز داستان. ذکر طلسم-ے-ہوشربا خدا بند لقا. ساقیانہ خونخوار اسمار درجہ نوشان جام افکار بادہ ساغر قرطاس کو اس طرح مملو کرتے ہیں کہ جب زمرد بادشاہ باختری نے طلسم-ے-ہزار شکل سے رہائی پائی، اس کے وزیر تدبیر نے صلاح بتائی کہ ملک کوہ عقیق گلزار سلیمانی کا بادشاہ عالی جاہ فوج بے کرام پہلوانان دوران رکھتا ہے، اور اسی ملک سے ڈانڈا طلسم-ے-ہوشربا کا ملا ہے. حاکم طلسم افراسیاب جادو شہنشاہ ساحران نہایت زرد آور ہے اور نہیب شمشیر سے اس کے سر کشان دہر کانپتے اور تھراتے ہیں، اور سحر آزمائی سے سامری عہد اور جمشید روزگاران پکڑتے ہیں۔ بصلاح وزیر زمرد شاہ سمت کوہ عتیق روانہ ہوا، اور بعد قطع منازل طے مراحل جب قریب اس ملک کے پہنچا، ہر کاروں نے خیر آمد زمرد شاہ کو کوہ عتیق کے بادشاہ سلیمان عنبرین منہ کوہی کو دی۔ وہ کشتیاں زر و جواہر کی نظر کے لیے تیار کر کے میں ارکان سلطنت تخت شاہی کے پاس لے آیا اور ان پر نچھاور کی۔ اس میں جواہر اعلیٰ اور بیش قیمت جڑا تھا۔ اس پر لقا آ کر جلوہ فرما۔ ارباب نشاط، ساقیان سیمی، سات محترمان خوش آواز عضو مذاق حاضر تھے۔ دور جام میں نیرنگی ایام چلنے لگے۔ راوی کہتا ہے کہ جب لقا ہزار شکل سے بھاگا، زلزلہ قاف ثانی سلیمان، حمزہ صاحب قرا، امیر عالی نشان نے اپنے 4 ہرکار سباگم تیز رفتار بے بقا کے ہمراہ روانہ فرمائے تھے کہ جس جگہ یہ برگشتہ سخت بخت باران تمام مسکن گزی ہوئے، اور جو اسے پناہ دے اس بادشاہ کی حقیقت سے اور اس ملک و سپاہ کیفیت سے ملازمین اعلیٰ اور بندگان حضرت قدر و قیمت شہنشاہی کو اطلاع دیں، وہ ہرکارے بہمراہی بقا یہاں تک آئے تھے۔ بشکال مختلف دربار میں سلیمان عنبری کے موجود تھے۔ انہوں نے بیان سپہ سالار سلیمان سب سنا اور حال فوج اور ملک کا سب دریافت کر کے خدمت امیر کشورگیر میں چلنے کا ارادہ کیا۔
Perhaps we can now get some of the translation that Shahnaz has done. And may I ask Shahnaz to read from a translation?
Are you just about coming to that?
You've seen the, perhaps we can come back to you.
That's right.
We've heard the original, the richness of the original, and now the translation, the translator's craft. How much of that richness is captured?
The cupbearers of the wine of storytelling and the imbibers of the wine of thought from the goblet of bitter tell us the story in this manner. When Zamrud Shah Bakhtri, known as the false god Laka, escaped from the Tilism of 1,000 Faces, his resourceful vizier Shaitan Bakhtiyar suggested that they both take refuge with the ruler of Mount Agate in the garden of Suleiman. The wily Shaitan advised the great oaf Laka that the mighty ruler of Mount Agate, Suleiman Ambareen, maintained a huge army. His kingdom also shared a border with Tilism-e-Hoshruba. The ruler of Tilism-e-Hoshruba, Afrasiab Jadu, was the king of magic and sahirs. The mighty sound of his sword made the rebels of the earth tremble and quiver, and the followers of the great magicians Samri and Jamshed were in awe of his magical skills. Bakhtiyar advised his master that Afrasiab would be an invaluable ally in his fight against Amir Hamza. Therefore, Zamrud Shah departed with his followers from Mount Agate and reached it after a journey of several days through steep mountains of Kohistan. The walled city of Agate was illuminated in Laqa's honor, and the ruler Suleiman Ambreen welcomed Laqa with offerings of gold, sandals, heaped with precious stones. Laqa was visibly delighted with all the pomp and ceremony. After he sat on a jewel's throne in the royal palace, all the viziers and high-ranking nobles leaned before him in homage. Saqis began singing melodiously as they served wine to the guests assembled in the darbar.
Thank you. Now, long before we had Harry Potter, we had the magic realism of the Latin American novel, and then Salman Rushdie was thought to be a proponent of magic realism when he started off The Midnight Strip. And I happened to have dinner with Salman Rushdie once upon a time, and I asked him point blank, have you taken your magic realism from the Latin American novel? And he was shocked. And he said, you coming from Pakistan should ask me this. Have I taken my magic realism from Latin America? Have you never read Tilism-e-Hoshruba? So his immediate response was that all my magic realism comes from the Tilism-e-Hoshruba. I am not. And he claimed he had never read the Marquez and the Fuenteses of this world until after the Midnight Strip. So you can see the impact that the Dastans at one point in time for some generations, for generations perhaps leading up to our present generation, has had on the psyche, on the mind, the imagination of the Indian Muslim at least, if not beyond that. So the Tilism-e-Hoshruba is an integral part of our collective recollection, if you like. And it features again and again in our stories, in our poetry. I could quote you any number of poems from Moonbeam Rashid, for instance, where he invokes nights out of the Arabian Nights, which have a distinct flavor of the Tilism-e-Hoshruba as well. Baghdad ki khab goom raat, mallah ki band aankhein, and so on. So the Dastan is such an important part of our entire existence, our literary existence and our existence as an imaginative community, that we neglect it at our peril. Now what's happening here in the Dastan, if I could briefly summarize the setting, the main character in the Dastani Amir Hamza, to which the Tilism-e-Hoshruba is a kind of a follow-up, is Amir Hamza. Now Amir Hamza we know as the Prophet's uncle, Abdul Muttalib's son. Now he's identified as that in the Dastan, but the Dastan is set in some other time. It's obviously not the Prophet's Mecca where it's set. And what is happening in Tilism-e-Hoshruba is that his son has been captured in the Tilism-e-Hoshruba by the sorceress Sharara and later on other sorceresses who pay obedience to Afra-Sahab Jadu. And he has sent Umru Ayyar, who's translated in English for some reason as Amr. We've always grown up reading him as Umru. But Amr or Umru enters the Tilism-e-Hoshruba to retrieve Prince Badi'uz-Zaman. And in doing that, there are various encounters with various magicians and sorceresses and so on. And that is what the Dastan leads us into. But in doing that, it captures an entire cultural milieu. It's a very Indian Muslim cultural milieu of the 18th, 17th, 18th centuries. And the oral tradition that gave birth to this Dastan allowed that presentation to grow with time. It's not the work of one individual. Ultimately, it gets written down, published by the Naval Kishore Press in the late 19th century. But like so many other great texts of the Islamic tradition, including legal texts, this is a work of a culture, of a civilization, not of an individual author. But we are lucky now to have it in a condensed, accessible form, in the form of the translation that Shahnaz now holds in her hand for us. And I'll ask Shahnaz to read a bit more out of this.
Well, Assalamu alaikum. In the tradition of Dastan, Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim, the cupbearers of the wine of storytelling and the imbibers of the wine of thought from the goblet of paper tell us the story in this manner. That after Badi'uz-Zaman was captured by the enchantress or Sahira, Sharara, what his ayar, because every prince in these Dastans had an ayar or trickster who was his best friend. So rather like the best friend in Hindi films. The ayar was his best friend and his spy and his agent, and he did all the things that the prince couldn't do. He could lie and cheat and do all kinds of nefarious activities. So what the ayar found was Badi'uz-Zaman's lifeless body. I just want to read out a bit of this for you because it shows the powers of the Ism-e-Azam of Amir Hamza. Amir Hamza को Ism-e-Azam अता किया गया है, जिसकी वजह से वो इतने इतने बड़े बड़े दुश्मनों से लड़ते हैं, उनको तस्लीम करते हैं. So just a bit of the, well, I think enough Urdu's been read, so I'll read the English. Umayyah bin Amr, Wadi's childhood friend and a yar or trickster, had been following him during the hunt. Umayyah waited for the dust storm to settle and saw the prince lying lifeless on the ground, his moon-like face covered with blood. He tore his robes in grief and hugged the limp body, weeping bitterly. After a while, he lifted the prince and placed him on his horse gently. He returned to the camp with the prince's companions, who had smeared their faces with dust in sheer grief. Amir Hamza and his army wept on seeing the body of Badiuzzzaman, and his mother collapsed at the sight of his bloodied face. In cold fury, Amir Hamza ordered the Ayar Amr bin Umayyah to saddle his horse Ashkar so that he could find his son's murderer and return with his head. Amr bin Umayyah implored the Amir to stay calm and said, "O ruler of the world, I have heard that no man murdered the prince. The desert suddenly went very dark, and then this corpse was found." Amir exclaimed, "By Allah, there is a mystery here. Call the sons of the astrologer, Khaja Buzurj Meher." When the astrologers arrived, Amir received them respectfully and sought their advice on unraveling the mystery of Badi's murder. The astrologers cast their charts and after studying them declared, "O Shahriyar, the prince is still alive, but he is in captivity. This corpse is a dummy. Sprinkle some water of the great name, the Ism-e-Azam, over it, and you will witness the miracle of Allah." Amir recited the Ism-e-Azam and blew on some water. He sprinkled it over the corpse, which was revealed to be nothing more than molded lentil flour. माश की दाल के आटे से ये जादूगर इस तरह से करते थे. Amir Hamza fell on his knees and thanked Allah for his mercy. He rewarded the astrologers with costly robes of honor, and the dummy corpse was thrown away. Everyone in the camp rejoiced as the prince was still alive. So this was just a small example of the reason why I was hooked on this story from the age of 10. I was very fortunate that I did not get the easy versions of the Tilism-e-Hoshruba, although they must have been around. But this was present in the house, and I started reading it, and I'm sure I couldn't understand half of it, but I read it nevertheless. And over the years I read it and reread it, and I think the only time that you form a passion for the classics is when you're young. When you're older, all of this seems quite absurd, as it did to the progressive writers movement and to a number of generations following the publication of these dastans, who thought that, you know, these stories were quite unnecessary. They were not progressive, they were not real, they were not novels, and they were not novels, they were dastans. But you know, when I started reading the Tilism-e-Hoshruba, I had no idea of magic realism. I had no idea of who the dastan goes were. I just was an avid reader who never wanted the story to end. And I found a perfect book for that, because it went on and on and on. So, but of course, over the years, it was just something that got into my bloodstream, so to speak. And I think one of the reasons for writing the translation was simply because I wanted to share it with a lot of my family and friends, who unfortunately were all English speaking. None of them read Urdu. But the curious thing I'd like to say here is that, you know, when I, in my teens and later in my 20s, when I tried to seek out people who wrote Urdu or who conversed in Urdu, and when I sought their opinion on the Tilism-e-Hoshruba, they actually had no idea. So this was like a very lonely burden that I had to, carry all on my own. I couldn't ever discuss these characters. For me, they were like what to English literature students Elizabeth Bennet and Darcy were to them. And there were all these characters in my head, and I just had to.
But perhaps there was a reason for that,
Yeah.
Shahnaz. The Dastan felt out of favor for a number of reasons. Firstly, as you point out, it was considered decadent in the 20th century, in the late 19th century, as the English novel, the English prose came into the subcontinent, the progressive writers movement then, which sought purpose for literature, which thought literature should help people break their shackles in some sense and bring about revolution and so on. So literature which simply was there to feed the imagination, to play with words, to enjoy cadences, it certainly seemed pointless, it seemed decadent. But I would argue and put to the House here that today a rediscovery of this literature has great value for us. It opens a window into a culture of pluralistic values where relationship with religion, relationship with the other was far more relaxed than what we are today being taught. And if I may, Shahnaz, with your permission, read a short passage that particularly caught my eye going through your work. Now this is a few pages after Prince Badi's capture by the sorceress Sharara. Amr has entered Tilism-e-Hoshruba and he has managed to kill Sharara and free Badi'uz-Zaman. And by then, Aijazuddin, the emperor's niece, Princess Tasweer, has fallen madly, hopelessly in love with Badi'uz-Zaman because he's described as this enchantingly beautiful young man. And once he's freed of the shackles of Sharara, the prince asks to be taken, Prince Badi'uz-Zaman asks to be taken to Princess Tasweer. And this is what happens when Prince Badi'uz-Zaman and Princess Tasweer meet. The princess filled a goblet of wine and offered it to the prince. "This is an offering of love. Pray, accept it," she said. The prince replied, "Nightingale of this garden, you are a sorceress and I am a Muslim. Only if you promise to forswear magic can I drink with you and even be your slave forever." The princess responded gently, "Shahriyar, I have not yet learned to use magic as I am young, but I do wish to adopt your faith." Thus the princess converted to Islam and the festivities began. Wine flowed freely and dancers entertained the gathering with the Hujra. So some conversion ceremony this was. And the fact that people would sit for hours all over India listening to these tales through happy hours that extended for many an hour gives us an insight into the entire milieu in which this Dastan and Dastan Goi was happening, and how people reacted to their religion. There is a great sense throughout that Amir Hamza's army is a Muslim army, fighting magicians and sorceresses and apostates even. So people are accused of apostasy, which I found quite amusing. So the idea of blasphemy and apostasy is not entirely new, but the interaction is far more relaxed. The forgiveness, the penance that you have to pay for your sins is rather charming. So that entire view of life and religion and the interaction between life and religion is what, amongst other things, this Dastan brings to us, and perhaps brings us closer to a legacy that we perhaps should still embrace as our own.
Well, I don't know where we could find the history of this legacy really, because the Shahzadas in these Dastans were quite unique. They fought hard, and everything in Dastan had to be exaggerated. The Shahzadas had to be very beautiful. The Shahzadis had to be beyond loveliness. And, the palaces had to be just amazing, made of bricks and silver bricks and gold and jewels and so on. So everything, there was an exaggeration about it. And yet there are some charming little things like the Muslim Shahzadas would accept goblets of wine in a kafir court, but they would insist that they would have the wine from a Saki Bacha who'd been converted to Islam. So all of them have this side to them. I don't know whether a society like this, in fact it didn't exist, because you know, the one unique thing about the Dastan, about Tilism-e-Hoshruba and the rest of the Hamza cycle is that you never find place names. Although there is a lot of Lucknow in this, you will never find the names of probably Nishat Bagh, but even not that. It's called the city of Napursa, the city of disregard. Or it's called, you know, the land would be completely fantastic. The names would be taken from the Middle East, Central Asia. Nothing was commonplace and ordinary. You would never have a Abdullah or a Mohsin or somebody like that. You would have Irij, and you would have Tulan, and you would have Badiuzzaman, and you would have very interesting names. So even at that time, the Dastan wouldn't be relegated to any place, which is the charming thing about it, that it's there somewhere in some hemisphere, but it's not commonplace at all, which is why Hindus identified with it, because they talk about the villains in Dastans are Jadugars, Sahirs, and they are, they respect Brahmins. So therefore Hindus and Muslims, in fact Hindus even composed Amba Prasad and people like that were, Dastan Ghosh were Hindus. So there was this, it's very much a subcontinental literature, pre-colonial. It was not subject to any kind of discipline. And because it was oral, I know people get tired of it, but oral dastans are like that. They cater to whichever audience is sitting in front of it. So, you find for chapters and chapters accounts of trickeries. But that's because at that particular time, the audience probably demanded it. And when these dastan sat down to write it or dictate it, they followed the natural order of the oral dastan. A bit like Indian music, where you have a rag and then the singer builds around it. So that was the nature of dastan.
Yeah. But Shahnaz, this actually is a very typical Middle Eastern way of doing things. As a law student many years ago, I came across this discovery that some of the great legal texts, for instance Shafi's Risala, was not the work of Imam Shafi alone. It was the work of several generations of writers who continued to write in Shafi's name even 150 years after his death. So the idea that a text can grow, have an afterlife long after its original author is dead, the idea that these texts are somehow cultural productions, and I say civilizational productions, is common not only to our tales, but also to things as prosaic as legal texts. So that's another insight we get into this, through this Dastan. And what you say about this Dastan not really being relegated to a space is very correct, and yet we constantly get allusions, references to its Indianness, as if it were. If I could read a couple of lines, and then I'll ask Navid to take us further into the heart of the Dastan. But this line again catches one's eye, if I may. Abhal suniye, this is describing the Tilism. Abhal suniye ki is babbar koh ke aage ek bayaban hai, कि नाम इसका बयाबाने आतिश विशां है, ये शेर इसका निगहबान है, जिसके पास सिंदूर हो उसका बानियाने तिलिस्म ने इसको मुतीक कर दिया है, ये मालिके सिंदूर को बयाबान में ले जाता है, जब सरहदे बयाबान पर पहुंचता है उसके आगे अमलदारी गेसुए काकुल कुशा नाम एक साहिरा की है, इस शेर के सरहद पर आने की खबर रखती है, जब ये वहाँ पहुँचता है वो कनीज को भेजकर रहबरी कराती है, اس کا ذکر آگے بیان ہوگا. اس وقت مخمور کے راز سے اس راہ کے واقف تھی. تیسرا ٹیکا ماتھے پر اس شیر کے دیا اور حکم کیا کہ ہم کو بیابان آتش سے نکال لے چل. So the idea that the sindoor and the tika are acts of great significance for entry into tilism constantly recur in the dastan. Navid, can I invite you now to take us a bit further into the dastan, perhaps the story of Barq and Hisham?
Yes,
You might want to read, and if I could just provide a brief introduction to this. It goes as follows: to spy on the proceedings at the court of Aijazuddin, king of magic, Barq Firangi, king of Farangistan, transforms himself into Afrasiab's handmaiden. Afrasiab is informed of this skullduggery and punishes Barq Firangi by setting him permanently on a stool and suspending it in the sky for Barq Firangi to die there of starvation. 2 days later, Afrasiab Jadu's Ustad Isam spots the stool and, overriding Afrasiab's spell, brings it down to rescue what he thinks is a damsel in distress. Navid.
हिसाम ने एक सितारा चमकता हुआ देखा, जैसे सागिना ने फलक में तंदील लटकाई. क्या सितारा टूट कर कुर्राए जमीन पर जम गया है. वो हैरान था कि ये क्या माजरा है. आखिर इसने दूरबीन सहर लगाकर देखा तो एक चौकी ये बतौर नजर आई कि महताब के अक्स पड़ने से वो मिस्र कौकब दरख्शां नजर आती. ये देखकर उसने और ज्यादा हैरत हुई और सेहर बढ़ा. दस्तक दी. वो चौकी चक्कर खाती हुई समते जमीन चली. पर फिरंगी उस पर 2 रोज का भूखा प्यासा अपने हाल-ए-ज़ार पर रोता. बर्क़ फिरंगी अपने हाल-ए-ज़ार पर रोता चुप बैठा और लश्कर के हाल में ज़ुबूं को भी उसने बुलंदी पर से देखा. मालूम हुआ कि एक बारगाह में एक साहिर बैठा है. साहिरों का सरदार दिखाई देता है और उसने देखा सरदार ने कि एक औरत कबूल सूरत बमुशाबे शक्ल हूर सराबा नूर लिबास व ज़ेवर से आरास्ता उस चौकी पर बैठी है. हिसाम उसकी सूरत देखते ही दीवाना. सारी उस्तादी उस पर फन ने बुला दी. घबरा कर पूछा, ऐ माँ पारा, तुझको किसने ये काहिश दी है. माथे पर तमगा लगा है, शायद तू कनीज़ बादशाह तिलिस्म की है. बर्क़ ने शर्मा के मुस्कुरा के कहा, ऐ जादूगर, मुझको शहनशाह ने कैद किया. अगर तू मुअज़्ज़ज़ साहिर है तो मेरी खता बादशाह से माफ़ करवा दे, नहीं तो मुझको फिर उड़ा दे. हिसाम ने कहा, ऐ जानी माए जिंदगानी, तुझसे क्या खता ऐसी हुई. उसने जवाब दिया, मरदुए बातें न बना, जल्दी मुझको बरुए हवा पहुंचा. अरे आफत आ जाएगी, मैं तो अभी कैद हूँ, फिर कत्ल की जाऊंगी. जिस बादशाह ने इतने से हुजूर पर कि जाम शराब ले आती थी, ठोकर लगी, गिरी, जाम छूट गया और टूट गया. ये हाल मेरा कर दिया उसने. दाना है आपको कैद किया है, अब गैर मत से हंसते सुनेगा तो मार ही डालेगा. हिसाम ये तकरीर सुनकर शाह कहा, उस वक्त नशे शराब में होता जो कैद किया, वरना ये कोई ऐसा जुर्म तो नहीं, तेरी खता माफ करा दूंगा. ये कहकर अपने दिल से कहा कि ए हिसाम, तूने इतना बड़ा काम किया है, क्या बादशाह इस कनीज को तुझे न दे देगा. नहीं, जरूर देगा. ये सोचकर उसने पूछा, ऐ नाज़नीन सच बता, अफरासियाब ने कभी तुझको हाथ तो नहीं लगाया? उसने कहा, कसम है साबरी और जमशेद की, कभी आंखें भरकर भी नहीं देखा, और क्यों कर देखते, मैं तो मर्द से खौफ खाती हूँ, मेरा कलेजा उछलने लगता है। ये कहकर उसने अंगड़ाई ली कि बगले और सीना और पेट खुल गया। हस्साम का तो जी लौट गया। उस गुलबदन को ने हंसकर कहा, मैं सच कहूं, मुझको मर्द के नाम से नफरत तो है, मगर तुझको देखकर मेरे दिल का हाल कुछ और है। हस्सान की प्यारी बातें उस सितमगर की सुनकर बहुत खुश हुआ और सेहत बढ़ा, और वो सेहत जिसके तहत ये ना उठ सकता था ना कुछ खा सकता था, उस हाल से उसको निजात दिलाई। और उठकर बनाज उसके पास आया और एक रुत्ता लिखकर, कि उसका मजमून ये था कि ऐ शाह जाविदा, मैंने तुम्हारी कनीज़ मातूब को चौकी से छुड़ा लिया और अपनी खिदमत में इसको लाया, इत्तिलान तुम्हें लिख भेजता हूँ। ये तहरीर उसी चौकी पर रख कर शेर पढ़कर उड़ा दी और कहा, ऐ चौकी, जहाँ बादशाह हो वहाँ जा। मर्द ने जो ये माजरा देखा, दिल से सोचा कि ये चौकी बादशाह के पास कोई दम में जाएगी तो वो मेरे हाल से वाकिफ है, फौरन मेरा रिहा होना सुनकर दौड़ा आएगा। बस जब कोई तदबीर करूं ये सोचकर पास उसके बैठ गया और हस्सान उस पर दस्त अंदाज हुआ। अनीस ने और कुछ नाज़ो अदा न किया, मगर सिसकी भरकर कहा, ठहरो, मैं भी कलीना उड़े जाती हूँ। Bit of a translation.
Please, if you could.
But peered down and saw that the stool was heading towards the Sahib's tent. But disguise as the handmaiden had faded due to lack of nourishment and exposure to the elements, so he quickly touched up his face with the paints of a yari before the stool reached the ground. When the stool landed, Ustadji was utterly stunned and gaped at the vision of the heavenly creature in precious clothes and jewels. He asked her, fair maiden, who has punished you so cruelly? O Parizad of the sky, why are you flying? Well, there is a royal medal on your forehead. Perhaps you are the Shah's handmaiden? But smiled coyly and replied, you foolish sire, have you lost your mind? Do you want to lose your life as well? I have been punished by the Shahnaz himself. Hisam cried, oh light of my heart, why has he punished you? But replied, Shahnaz has punished me because I stumbled and dropped a goblet of wine on them. For that, he suspended me in the sky to starve to death. If he finds me talking to a strange man, he will surely kill me right away. Sam said to the maiden, he must have been intoxicated at the time. Otherwise, yours was not such a serious crime. I will speak to him on your behalf, but tell me truthfully, has the Shahnaz ever touched you? But lowered his head and replied shyly, no, I swear by Salman and Jamshed, he has never looked at me in that sense. Why should he? I'm afraid of all men. My heart jumps in fear if I ever see a man. The false handmaiden then stretched her arms out provocatively so that her bosom and belly were clearly visible through her flimsy garments. His son looked as though he would die of desire. The damsel said, to tell you the truth, I loathe all men, but since I've seen you in my heart, I feel something else. I've met many handsome young men. There's something so compelling about you. Hisam was captivated by her innocence and chanted a spell that released her from the marble stool. He then wrote a note that read, O King of Sahirs, I have released the captive maiden from the sky and she is now in my service. He placed the note on the marble stool and breathed a spell on it, after which it spiraled off to find the Shahnaz. But realized what was happening and thought, once the stool reaches Afrasiab, he will come running to his teacher's rescue. I should do something very soon. So he curled up next to the old Sahib, who tried to caress his beloved. The maiden sobbed softly and whispers, wait, my clothes are in
Stop before it gets steamier.
It's actually a twist of the plot, which is just a couple of paragraphs essential to the progress of the plot. This is an open area. Do you think I'm a common prostitute? Even they are not treated in this manner. His aunt brought down the awnings of his tent and dismissed his attendants. Meanwhile, the maiden had produced a marigold from within her bodice and asked coyly, "Do you know what this is?" His aunt was charmed by her query and embraced her and murmured, "It is a marigold, my love." She pouted prettily and said, "You don't know anything. This is a rose from the garden of Jamshed. Shahnaz plucked several of these and gave me one. Smell it if you do not believe me." His aunt looked puzzled and took the flower from her. He inhaled its deadly scent and fell unconscious, but immediately beheaded him with his dagger. It was as if the heavens had fallen and doomsday had arrived. Sheets of flame descended from the sky, and terrible voices called out, "Oh, cruel one, you have killed the teacher of Sahirs." Taking advantage of this commotion, Bharat managed to escape from the camp.
I think we can all agree that
There was no steam there now. I knew what was coming.
I think we can all agree that this is a remarkably successful translation. And it really comes out from the eyes have lit up at exactly the same points in the translation as in the original. So the translation is clearly, Shahnaz, I congratulate you, captured the sound and the original. But tell us something about the translator's craft. How do you go about translating? What is a successful translation?
Well,
How does it
I have
emerge?
a question, if I might interrupt. As I was going through these passages for this reading, I was amazed at how difficult it must have been and how you've tackled it. How difficult was it is my question after you answer this.
Well, I'm not in the business of translation at all. This was something, it was a labor of love. I've not felt compelled to translate anything else. So this was not a chore for me at all. I had knew this story so well, and that I knew exactly what I wanted from the story. I knew the irrelevant parts, I knew where the Dastan Go had digressed. So what I planned was that I should stick to the action, so to speak, so that the story moves along. And basically the story was about the conquest of Hoshruba. So I decided to stick to those passages which were directly relevant to this. And if you read the Tilism-e-Hoshruba in the original, I'm sure some of you will feel compelled to do it, you'll find that a lot of it is very repetitive. Because again, it's an oral tradition, it was not catered for, it didn't cater for publishing, but that's the way it was published. So I knew what I had to put in, because particularly in certain areas like जब अफरासियाब जो इसका होशरुबा का शहंशाह होता है, जब वो बहुत ज़्यादा घबरा जाता है मुसलमानों से और उनके एलाइज से, तो वो हुजरा हाय बला खोलता है, और हुजरा हाय बला में एक एक आफत होती है, 7 हुजरे होते हैं। बहरहाल मैंने सिर्फ 5 का जिक्र किया क्योंकि वो भी एक और कहानी है। तो I call them the perils, the hujras of peril. And if you read the original, each chapter will have one paragraph about the hujra, one paragraph about somebody else, there are about 8 storylines running. So what I had to do was literally what people do in cross stitches, they pull the thread out. And that's what I did, I pulled the thread, because for a modern reader, they'd want to read about one hujra at a time. So that is what I did. And I think I can be forgiven because every dastan go interprets the story in his own manner, and they add or subtract as they think it's suitable. So I didn't take away the meaning of it, rather I thought I'd emphasize the meaning. So you've got these 5 chapters which are the 5 hujras of peril. So really it was a rediscovery of the Tilism for me, because I learned, when you're reading, you take a number of words for granted. You don't really know what they mean, but you know vaguely what they mean. But for the purposes of translation, I had to educate myself all over again, find references. There's so many references, astrological for instance. They refer to constellations. There is another very mystic element to these dastans, because I might mention that one theory about the dastans were that every dastan has Badshah Tilism, and then there is the person who defeats the Tilism Kusha. Okay? So every Tilism, when it's formed, and Tilism are large lands, it's preordained that in such and such day or century or whatever, Tilism Kusha will come and he will find the Lohe-Tilism. Lohe-Tilism एक तख्ती होती है जो जवाहर निगार जिस पर जो अगर बादशाह तिलिस्म उसको अपने दिल से भी ज़्यादा कीमती जगह पर रखता है, क्योंकि वो अगर तिलिस्म कुशा के हाथ लग जाए तो वो फिर तिलिस्म फतह हो जाता है. So there were so many. There's a part in this which is about I call it Tilism of mirrors. Tilism-e-Aina है, जिसको हमजा का एक नवासा या पोता उसको फतह करता है. तो उसमें बहुत ज़्यादा क्रिप्टिक किस्म की चीज़ें हैं उसमें. The planets, the hour of the moon, the hour of the Mercury, Jupiter, etc. And I must admit I didn't go into it that much. But there was a scholar, Suhail Ahmed Khan, and this is a view about dastans, that a tilism is basically the world, and the tilism kusha is the people of this world. Because आप इस दुनिया में से जा रहे हैं और आपने बहुत सारी चीज़ों को, अपनी ईगो को basically, you have to surmount it. And Lohe-Tilism is your heart, which guides you. So that is one aspect of the Tilism, but it wasn't one that was under consideration when I was translating it. It just, I think a lot of the writing that was written in the 19th century or 18th century writing is very Sufi oriented. इसमें है कि वो उनके दिल के आईने से जंगे कुफर उतर चुका. तो वो it's again a very Sufi term. So this is replete with it. So I actually learned a lot when I was translating from this book.
Actually, to underline what you've said about possible Sufi context of the Dastan, this line in front of me seems to allude to that. लेकिन अब हाल अफरासियाब जादू मालिके तिलिस्म सुनिए कि उसकी अलमदारी में 60,000 मुल्क जादूगर और जादूगरनियों से आबाद हैं और उनके बादशाह सब उसके मुती हैं. और इस तिलिस्म में 3 मकाम हैं, एक पर्दाए ज़ुल्मात, एक तिलिस्म बातिन, एक तिलिस्म ज़ाहिर. पर्दाए ज़ुल्मात में बुजुर्ग अफरासियाब के मिसले माहिए ज़ुमुर रंग व आफात 4 दस्त वगैरह रहते हैं. So the batin zahir dichotomy also continues.
Yeah.
Now Shahnaz, what is the role of translations more widely in bringing Urdu literature to us? Today, before this session, I attended 2 sessions, one on Ismat Chuftai, the other on interviews with writers, Urdu writers by Aslam Farooqi. And these were jam-packed sessions, and the bulk of the audience in those sessions was young people in their 20s who clearly have a craving for Urdu literature, for knowing more about Urdu literature. Sometimes we assume that the younger generation is the easy Urdu generation and they're not bothered. But clearly there is a longing to reclaim this literary heritage. So how do we go about doing that? Our translations are kind of root back into our heritage. Will translations encourage people to actually struggle with the language, to learn the language and get to the originals?
I think that for people who cannot or who do not read Urdu, this is probably the simplest way of doing it. After all, the 1001 Nights has reached us this way. Translations in Urdu and translations in English. And we haven't learned the original Arabic for it. And in the same way, what probably needs to be done is, which is what my original intention was, to put this in a readable Urdu, not easy Urdu, because that irritated me so much that this is why I embarked on this translation in the first place, because it would really annoy me to see those really easy Urdu versions of the Tilism-e-Hoshruba.
There is a Makbul Jahangir version.
Okay, which, stripped it of all its charm and its lovely language and the idiom and the abuses and the insults and everything. So what you need to do is probably put it in Salis Urdu, make it a little more readable, but maybe somebody else can do that, and or translate it into English, which will reach a certain class. But it's not to say that people who read Urdu read this kind of Urdu. It's not. They probably don't have the time. They don't have the inclination, and they're not young enough. You have to be young enough to get into this genre, I find.
I would say people in their 20s are young enough, and I encourage them to make the effort.
I 100% believe after reading this book, definitely, they'll definitely try to go back and they'll try to
I think that's the hope.
read the Urdu version for sure. After reading this, they want to know more. Because definitely.
Well, I mean, it's been compared many times. I've been asked about Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. This is in fact more akin to Lord of the Rings than Harry Potter, but there's a huge difference. The Hamza stories were oral traditions. They were not written by one person. They formed over centuries. And, and it's remarkable that they should have this wonderful storyline. Whereas the Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, or even the Narnia series, which I'm a great devotee of, they have a basically Christian theme. Because in each of them there's one person who's ready to sacrifice himself for the greater good. Whether it's Harry Potter or whether it's in Narnia, the characters Aslan, and in Lord of the Rings it's Frodo. These are very different traditions. They draw on the mythology of Hinduism, of Central Asia, of Iran, of Persia, of the Middle East. So it's a very big canvas. But yes, it should appeal to younger people.
Okay, perhaps you can have a further reading. The two of you, Navid, Shahnaz, can give us what you read, and then we'll open the house to questions.
Okay, Navid and I selected this reading. The king of magic, Afrasiab Jadoo, invites the beautiful Zulmat Jadoo to help him in destroying the Islamic army, thereby incurring the wrath of his wife Malika Herod. This is an extract from volume 3 of the Tilism-e-Hoshruba, and it's the fight between Herod and Afrasiab.
Zulmat ordered that the drums of travel be struck and journeyed in stages to reach Herod's camp. Afrasiab's spy birds informed him of her arrival. He sent prominent sardars to receive the command and told them all
Malika Harris frowned as she heard these words and said, "Why, Sahib? Since when did you arrange another palace?" "Mia, since the day I was unfortunate enough to come to your house, you've caused me nothing but heartbreak and unhappiness. Do you think you'll make someone else happier? Do not forget that it was because of my kismet that I became Malika of this realm. It is because of me that you became king. If it isn't my destiny, I will be in comfort wherever I am. This empire is as lowly as my shoe to me. Why should I tolerate a common hussy like Salman?"
Afrasia was outraged by Herod's speech and said, "This is quite enough from you. I've suffered enough abuse from you over the years. By Samri, I have been patient long enough. Anyone else would have cut off your nose. What does a wife have to do with this? Men have 100 concubines. Badshahs have several harems. Do their wives leave their palaces for this reason?"
Herod slapped her cheeks and shouted, "May I grind anyone to dust who dares to mention my nose? May somebody destroy him. Sahib, you are already so enamored of that harlot that you talk of cutting off my nose. I will slaughter her in a place where my serving woman washes her hands." She addressed the darbar and said, "Look at this man. He has not seen her face yet, and he threatens to cut off my nose. Once she's in bed with him, he will cut off the noses of everyone around him. I would rather wash corpses on Tuesdays and Sundays than stay married to him. No, sir, we cannot continue this way."
Afrasia shouted back at her, "Shut your mouth or I will whip your hide off. What do you think I am, that you let your tongue run away with you this way? I swear I will send for my executioner and cut your head off right now."
Herod jumped off her throne, beat her breasts, and wailed loudly, "I will set fire to this empire and send this marriage to hell."
Afrasia raised his hand to hit her, but her handmaidens and ladies in waiting rushed forward to ward off his blow. His counselors murmured, "Mia, she has been with you through all your trials. How could you ever think of raising your hand on a woman?"
The women tried to mollify Herod and said, "Bibi, one should not argue with men. Everyone knows that no one can take your place. Women like her will come and go. Bibi, there is no point in taking offense. He's after all a man who will keep replacing his shoes. At least he happens to be Badshah. Nowadays, even poor men seem to be bursting out of their loincloths. And their poor wives suffer quietly. Let it go."
While the king of magic and Zulmat enjoyed intimacies that night, lip to lip, bosom to bosom, Herod was overcome by fainting fits in the garden of pleasure. One of her handmaidens said, "Bibi, man's love is always fickle and not to be relied on. If he has discarded a parizad like you, how long do you think he will remain with this new hussy? It's just a game he will play for a few days." Another woman piped up, "You're so right. She will dominate the darbar for a few days and then see what happens. He will probably not even talk to her."
Thus the women continued babbling, while Herod shed tears as a candle sheds wax.
Sounded rather contemporary. So I think we have a few minutes to take questions. If there are any.
I read the original, not the original one, the Jagi one, and then of course I read the original one, early 20s. And recently I read Sharaf Farooqi's first translation. Why is it that your translation that started from Tilism-e-Hoshruba? There was this entire series on Hamza, on Mir Hamza, and then as Shahnaz said that those earlier preface stories to the Tilism-e-Hoshruba, was it not enchanting enough, or you just want?
So your question is why Tilism-e-Hoshruba?
Why Tilism-e-Hoshruba?
Not the period before it.
Okay, now the Hamza Nama
The Hamza. Yes,
Are you
exactly.
talking about the
Yes.
Rafiza Hamza?
Yes.
That was a different story altogether.
But it actually came, it was,
Well,
in
you
terms
know-
of period, it came before it, right?
Right.
Yes.
The Hamza Nama is basically a Persian story.
Yes.
Its heroes are Arab, Amir Hamza and Mukbel and Ahmad. But it is actually a Persian story. And it was a very simple story in the sense that you had a tilism in it, but it would be a murga baitha hua hai aur ek ghar hai aur wo tilism. So, it had devs, and it had jinnat, and it had parizat. And then it was commissioned by Mayum, which finished the Hamza Nama miniatures. And of course it was very big during Mughal times. Now what happened later was that at the end of Hamza Nama, is Hazrat Hamza goes back to Makkah at the invitation of his nephew. And he fights and dies in the Battle of Uhud. So that's the end of Hamza Nama. And मुख्तसर कहानी है जो हिंदुस्तान के ये दास्तान गो थे वो खसूसन लखनऊ के they had to the Hamza Nama was a bit too simple for them, so they created these complicated tilisms which were magical lands and where the magic was very complex and the story was very different, but of course they had to have Amir Hamza in it and his sons and grandsons. The reason I didn't go for the Hamza Nama was I think Francis Pritchard's version is probably the best one that I've read of the Hamza Nama. But my original intention was always to do the Tilism-e-Hoshruba. The Tilism-e-Hoshruba was first of the Dastans to be printed by Munshi Naval Kishore. This is the one he chose because this is the most popular and this is the one that was in everybody's imaginations, whether it was Ghalib or whether it was anyone else. It was always the Tilism-e-Hoshruba. Iski ke characters Afrasiab ke ya Amar ke ya Malka Bahar ke ya Mahmoor वगैरह के हमेशा examples दिए जाते हैं.
मैंने मुझसे पूछा कि वो characters उसमें originate हुए थे, बुजुर्ग महर और हमारा.
I think we have another question here.
And also Musharraf's has done the 1/3 of the first volume.
Yes.
Which is as big as this one.
Another question.
I'm doing a PhD on Dastan Emily Hamza.
Oh, really?
I'm final year right now, and I'm working on the of the one volume. And I have two questions. I'm a bit surprised that you say Francis Pritchard's.
Please a little louder.
I'm surprised that you say that Francis Pritchard's version is the best translation when it is the translation of Mukbil Jahangir's work. That's what Francis Pritchard's translation is about. Hello? Can you hear me?
Of whose work?
Francis Pritchard's translation is Mukbil Jahangir's work that she translated. So I'm surprised that if you say that Mukbil Jahangir's work.
Well, Francis Pritchard's version, I read, it's not a complete version, it was part of her thesis. But I found it done very skillfully. Because, with these stories, it matters what you leave out and what you put in. And what she put in gave the essence of that story. After that, I didn't feel the need to read anything. I wasn't working on it, so I didn't.
That's not, so basically the
What's your question?
One is, you made the connection between Muslims and the Dastan. You were hence saying that Dastan is essentially Muslim in its...
No, I don't think we said that. We said because Dastan has that illusions.
Okay.
Dastan, in fact, is pre-Muslim.
Precisely. That's why I got the sense that it's not Muslim, and by saying that it is Muslim, we are kind of relegating it to a very base level, which is why probably Dastan never became what it should have become. Secondly, you made the connection between Dastan and the Arabian Nights. I don't see that connection at all. So can you just explain?
I meant Arabian Nights as an example of an oral tradition.
That's all.
Rather like Homer's poems were orally, transmitted or given over.
That's all.
So I was
Idea
just
of the
saying that the
Dastan.
idea of the Arabian Nights would not have reached us had it not been for translation.
I think the reference was the general scheme of a dastan that grows over time, that has multiple authors and so on. That's all.
My question is a very basic question. The common pronunciation जो हमने उर्दू में पढ़ा है कुरोया, but as I understand it, the actual Arabic pronunciation is Amar.
Amar.
So why did you choose to translate as Arabic translation instead of the
My question is well.
original?
Because apparently you're supposed to read it as Amar.
Even though it's written
I always use for that because that was a pet peeve of mine. Everybody started pronouncing it as Umru.
Umru.
And I was like,
That really diminishes him. And I mean, he's a larger than life character and a horrible character, but nevertheless, he has to be given enough importance.
Go ahead.
अच्छा मेरा जो सवाल है मैं थोड़ा पेंडू
नहीं, आप जरूर आप पंजाबी में पूछिए।
दास्तान अमीर हमजा जब रिव्यू होती है उसके बाद उसकी कंट्रीब्यूशन जो है वो दास्तान तिलिस्म-ए-होशरुबा। तो आज मुझे एक अफसोस हुआ है सुन के कि दास्तान तिलिस्म-ए-होशरुबा और अमीर हमजा का जो तकाबुल है वो हम कर रहे हैं हैरी पॉटर के साथ या द हॉबिट के साथ, लॉर्ड ऑफ रिंग्स के साथ। इससे पहले इसको हमेशा होमर के काम के साथ इसका काम किया जाता है, महाभारत के साथ किया जाता है, रामायण के साथ किया जाता है। और फिर अभी आपने एक बात की थी कि सूफी इसमें काफ़ी आपको मिलता है, लेकिन इसकी एसेंस है इस दास्तान वो हमेशा तो यही है कि दास्तान अमीर हमजा के शुरू से लेकर सूफीज़म को इसमें बहुत निगेट किया गया है इस दास्तान में जगह जगह पे। तो ही बात करते हैं और वजूद की नहीं वहदत शुहूद की बात करते हैं। तो ये थोड़ा सा क्योंकि मुझे नहीं पता कितने लोगों ने ये दास्तान मुकम्मल तौर पर पढ़ी है, तो ये मिसकंसेप्शन पे
देखिए, मिसकंसेप्शन मेरी तरफ से नहीं है क्योंकि मैंने इसको कभी हैरी पॉटर से इसकी तशबीह नहीं की है। मैंने सिर्फ ये कहा था कि मुझसे ये बार बार कहा जाता है कि क्या ये हमारा हैरी पॉटर है, क्या हमारा लॉर्ड ऑफ द रिंग्स है। And if you remember, I told you that basically these are very different stories because they evolved over centuries. Whereas Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings and Narnia, etc., were written by one person, and they were, they had a beginning, middle, and end. Dastans that way do not have endings. They are sort of, it's an endless cycle.
Perhaps we can continue this conversation, this session now as to end. Thank you very much.